The memories we created on the court are going to stay with me forever.
For Wheeling University Athletics, I'm Zach Ziegler, continuing to meet our class of 2025 Wheeling Athletic Hall of Famers. Today, we're joined by Hall of Famer and former track and field athlete Eric Faulkner. And Eric, first of all, congratulations on being inducted. Talk to me about what it means to you to be elected to this class.
Wow. Hey, thanks, Zach. Good to talk to you. Well, it's certainly an honor. I think that's a word that's thrown around a lot. But it was a great call to get actually from Coach Swagger on getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. It means a lot. My family was thrilled, which was pretty cool. I got two little young kids, so they thought that was pretty cool. But just honored would be the best word I can think of, and just really thrilled and happy to get that call.
And for you, during your time at Wheeling, you were part of some of the great track teams in the program's history in the early 90s and the 2000s. Talk about what it was like kind of competing with those teams and just getting to see that greatness every day.
Yeah, I think back in '96, that's when the original track was laid. It was laid down by the same exact group that laid the Olympic track in Atlanta from the 1996 games. When we started the program, really what attracted me was the fact that, sure, we had the conference opponents, Bethany, West Lib, all those folks that we would compete against day to day and a day out, but we would also go to the national events. We'd compete against Division I schools, Penn State, Kent State, Ohio State. We'd travel down to the Carolinas. That's really what drove me to the program. We had world-class athletes, a couple of which are being inducted with me this year too. So we were competing against not just, Division II local schools, but ones from all over the country at the Division I level. So the best of the best, and we were really successful in the years that we were there.
And kind of talk about your journey to Wheeling. How'd you find the campus, get in contact with the coaches, and talk about your journey to Wheeling?
Well, actually, I had signed two letters of intent to play football. I signed at a school to play football, and then ended up getting another offer for a larger school. So I signed a letter of intent there. I had all intentions of going to play football. I was born and raised in Erie, Pennsylvania, so it's not exactly right next to Wheeling. I went to a track and field meet in Wheeling Park. I think it was called the Pepsi Classic, if I remember. Quite honestly, I didn't have my best meet. I still performed well, but I didn't really do what I thought I should be able to do. So after the events, I sat there and I got some work in, got some practice in. And Coach Swags was there, and he came up to me and told me who he was and where he was from. And I didn't know anything about Wheeling. And he convinced me to come for a visit. And it was that visit that actually convinced me to come to Wheeling, tour the campus, how beautiful it was, meeting some of the staff, meeting the coaches, the professors, everything. So just that visit is really what hooked me into the university and what drew me there.
And for you, you left a legacy in the throwing event. You're top 10 all time, second in shot put, and third all time in discus. What does that mean to you to kind of left your mark over your time at Wheeling?
It's pretty cool. I don't know why, but my hammer should be up there too, but it's not. But that's okay. I think it's great. I think setting the bar for people to try to reach in going forward is really what we tried to do with some of these folks that we had when we started the program. Bring in the best folks, set that bar high, and let these people come and try to get you. So records are made to be broken. That's great. Still thrilled to be recognized in the top 10 in those.
Currently joined by 2025 Hall of Famer Eric Faulkner, former track and field athlete. And Eric, as you mentioned, you have two other athletes from the track and field team going in with you as well. Talk about what it means to you to be honored with those two and kind of going in together.
Yeah, I mean, Rusty and Amanda talk about setting the bar. I mean, those two folks, they were outstanding. The work ethic of Amanda was amazing. She would just put in the work on practice day in and day out. Rusty was a special talent, and he just dominated in his events, and it was just really fun to watch. So to be with two people that I knew day in and day out and worked with at the track and field facility as well as in classes is just thrilling for me. So I'm really happy and thrilled that they're joining and very proud of them for what they've done.
And talk a little bit about what you've done post graduation from Wheeling and kind of how your education, your time at Wheeling helped you in your professional life.
Yeah, sure. So right after graduation with my undergrad, I stayed on and helped coach the track and field team for a few years and got my master's at the university in 2002. My first official job out of grad school was at the former National Technology Transfer Center right there on campus. So I was there for a couple years, and then I moved to Washington, D.C., was there for a few years, and eventually found my home here in Columbus, Ohio. Got some additional education and some graduate degrees while I was over here, and this kind of led me to the community banking path, which is what I've been doing for the past 16 years. I'm currently the president and CEO of a community bank here in the state of Ohio. And really, the education that I received at Wheeling and that path it took me on is what led me here. So I'm thrilled for that.
And finally, what advice would you give to a current track and field athlete who's going to watch you get inducted this fall on how they can kind of be their best every day and strive for that same level of success?
Well, I think it's like anything in life. You get what you put into it, right? I think that hard work does pay off. Whatever their goals are, whatever they might be, reach for them, right? I think that, if you just kind of go through the motions day in and day out, some people are okay with that. That's great. But what strikes me about athletes is they're always trying to achieve that next level. So whatever their goals are, strive for that goal. If you're able to get that PR of that goal, readjust, right? Stretch and challenge yourself even more.
Thanks, Eric. Once again, congratulations on being inducted into the Hall of Fame. Can't wait to see you in October.
All right. Thanks, Zach.
For Wheeling University Athletics, I'm Zach Ziegler.
It means that I have left my mark.
Memories we created on the court are going to stay with me forever.